Good morning, good morning.
Okay, Tov, Rabbi Prague.
Oh, Bogato. Please open a second in Masechet Shabbat, Daf Kuf Yutet Amud Bet, 119b.
Give me a second. Shabbat 19b.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning, good morning. This is Masechet Shabbat, 119b. It's approximately the 10th white line. Amar Abaye, it's in the middle of the line. אמר אביי לא חרבה ירושלים. Remember, we always focus on the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah and other places, Sinat Chinam, Gilui Arayot. This is a general explanation about the Jewish people. The Jewish people are not careful about Avodah Zarah, about Ben Adam Lechavero, but here the focus is Yerushalayim. אמר אביי לא חרבה ירושלים אלא בשביל שחיללו בה את השבת. שנאמר ומשבתותיי העלימו עיניהם. They are turning their eyes away from Shabbat. ואחל בתוכם. ואחל, I made the days like always chol. I removed my presence from them. Listen carefully. So it's not simply what's unique about the Avirah of Chilul Shabbat. We saw the Ramban a few times. It says that committing a sin or a crime in the king's palace is much worse.
Good morning, how you doing?
What? Says the Ramban, how come the Torah emphasizes Gilui Arayot in Eretz Israel? The Ramban is asking it in Achrei Mot. Says the Ramban, Gilui Arayot is asur everywhere. But in Israel, it's much worse. It's like in the king's palace. Chilul Shabbat in Yerushalayim is much worse than Chilul Shabbat in South Africa or in New York.
Rabbi Prague, if you read the Gemara, it's interesting. It says, Amar Abai, lo charva Yerushalayim, ela b'shvil shech. Why does it just say shechilu et Shabbat? They're saying shechilu ba.
Perfect. This is exactly the point. שנאמר, ומשבתותיי העלימו עיניהם, again, basically Shabbat is simply a statement. I believe that there is a creator, and by not doing anything on Shabbat, I'm showing that I believe in it.
Rabbi, good morning, Rabbi. Your view is being obscured by the book. Cameras, the book is blocking us seeing you.
Yes.
Also, I had to interrupt. Today's my father's yortzeit. Today's class is Luna Shmadr for El Ben Sarah. My father, 77 years ago, he passed away.
Oh, wow. So, Larry is medayek very well. Chilelu ba et Shabbat. I told you that in the book that was written well about Rabbi Charlap. Rabbi Charlap was from the greatest rabbis in Yerushalayim. He was a Talmid Chaver of Rav Kook. It says that on Shabbat morning, someone came to the rabbi. However, this is a story that goes back 90 years ago. That someone is standing in the middle of Shabbat morning and he's watering the lawn. To us, it means nothing. We see people drive, we see people do this, that. The rabbi told his son, come, put your Shabbat clothes. If you know, Sha'arei Chesed, Rehov Keren Kayemet goes from Rechavia to Sha'arei Chesed. They are going up the street and they saw a man watering the lawn. The rabbi stops, his son-in-law stops, and the rabbi starts to cry. He didn't say one word to cry. The fellow runs to him and he says, the rabbi doesn't feel good? He says, no, I feel fine. Why are you crying? He says, for me to see in the middle of Shabbat, desecrating Shabbat in Yerushalayim, hurts me a lot. This is exactly what the Gemara is saying, yes? Yes? Of course, if this would be done in Haifa or in Tzfat, we'll have the rabbi too. But in Yerushalayim, okay, the fellow, of course, was a refugee from Germany. Many, many people in Germany, after the Kristallnacht, escaped. Remember, this is the Kristallnacht, not it. And many of them bought apartments in Haifa and Yerushalayim, among them this fellow. Anyway, he felt very bad. And he says to the rabbi, I really didn't know, I'm sorry, this, that. The rabbi told him, please come to my house and Seudah Shlishit. From one Seudah Shlishit to another Seudah Shlishit, and the man more or less became Shomer Shabbat. But this is based on this Gemara. Al Shechilelu Ba. Listen carefully. I was born in Yerushalayim. I used to go every Shabbat afternoon to visit my father's father. So, as we crossed in the middle town, I saw cars on Shabbat. Some people on Shabbat refused to take a walk because they didn't want to see Chilul Shabbat. Honey, what's wrong of seeing Chilul Shabbat? It's not me doing it.
You get affected by what you see. Your empathy affects your mindset, your heart, your brain, your soul.
Lose the sensitivity about this.
Interesting.
One of the great Hasidic masters, his name was Avnei Nezer. He wrote one of the classic, important books on Shabbat, a great Tal. So he said that in his life, he saw twice, twice only. This scene, third time, he wouldn't be able to write the book. I mean, if me and you, soldiers who saw a lot of casualties, death, suffering, are not as sensitive to suffering and death as we are. We see someone injured seriously. This is part of life. We got used to it. But this is what the Gemara is saying. Shechilelu ba. Fine. The next one, listen to this. Amar Rabbi Abahu, לא חרבה ירושלים, אלא בשביל שביטלו קריאת שמע שחרית וערבית. Now, what does it mean, ביטלו קריאת שמע? I'm using an example. Teenage boys on Sundays sometimes wake up at 11:30. This is ביטלו קריאת שמע. Of course they do take קריאת שמע, but it's too late. Now, remember that the Pasuk says in Sefer Shmuel, when Goliath, approached the Jewish camp twice a day, the Pasuk says. Why twice a day?
Okay, right.
The Gemara says to try to stop them from saying Kriyat Shema on time. You understand? The Gemara says was morning and evening. Why Kriyat Shema? Because collectively, when we are saying Shema, the power of the Shema is Lo Charva Yerushalayim again. What is the statement in Shema? That we are accepting the kingdom of Hashem. Now look at the pasuk that he brings. This is a pasuk from Yeshayahu. שנאמר, אוי, משכימי בבוקר שיכר ירדופו. The night before, והיה כינור ונבר, תוף וחליל, ויין משתיהם, ואת פועל השם לא יביטו. The night before they went to parties that extended to the middle of the night. So in the morning, וכתיב לכן גלה עמי מבלי דעת. Remember, we have Shabbat and Shema. You do realize the common denominator of the two. Now, in a minute, we are going to read what the Maharsha writes approximately 400 years ago about his generation. Third one, אמר רב אמנונה לא חרבה ירושלים, אלא בשביל שביטלו בה תינוקות של בית רבן. Remember, we are used to a system that you have school 5 days a week, Sundays we are off, Shabbat we are off. In the olden times, as a matter of fact, before we started the class, I looked here in Brisk. This is an interview that the son of the Rav of Brisk gave to a good fellow. He says, school was full 6 days a week, and even Shabbat afternoon, the class has to come together either to review or to learn at least 2 hours. Here the Gemara says, לא חרבה ירושלים, אלא בשביל שביטלו בה תינוקות של בית רבן. Okay, remember, this concept doesn't exist because we live in a different world. But if you go to some communities, not all, some communities, it's not only 6 full days, including Friday till Friday afternoon. Even on Shabbat, in every community, kids come and review, prepare for a test. Obviously, we're talking about Judaic studies. שנאמר, שפוך על עורר בחוץ. שפוך, Hashem is letting out his anger, משום דעורר בחוץ. Remember again, this is reasons why Yerushalayim, the real capital city. So we had Shabbat, we have Kriyat Shema, we have, later you'll see in the Gemara, that basically what keeps the world going is the real Torah learning of young kids. The minute you are taking it away, the Gemara continues, Amar Ula lo Charva Yerushalayim. Remember, each one of the rabbis finds another pasuk in Navi. If you pay attention, all the pasukim that we quoted was Yeshayahu, Yirmiyahu, Yechezkel. All of them are the prophets that spoke in advance about the destruction of the temple. Reason number 4, Amar Ula, לא חרבה ירושלים, אלא מפני שלא היה להם בושת פנים, זה מזה. Each one of us has, or sometimes backfires against us. Boshet panim is there are certain things. I wouldn't come to shul with 2 shoes that are not a good match. I wouldn't come to shul with a suit. Okay, me, it's not a good example, but with a suit that the tie is totally. Why is that? Because Rani, why is that we are so careful to keep our dignity or to appear, because we have self-respect. I don't want to say that this is very nice. Nevertheless, but when we come together in a social gathering and the issue becomes to rate people, this is also, I cannot be different than everyone. I have to contribute to my nonsense. Yes, this is also to talk about. I remember, it's easy again. It's easy to say, it's easy to, but having respect to society, being part of society has a lot of good, because we have to come to Shul on Shabbat because everyone is coming, which is perfect. What do you do in Shul? What do you?
The Rabbi, we separating the concept of self-respect, of self, how you feel about yourself versus conforming to others, and the what's intrinsic is what really counts, and going along with everybody else is just surface.
Of course.
Yeah.
The only reason I would not walk with a bathing suit, which by the way I don't have in the street, is only because of not respect to society. It's only respect to myself, which means it's the ego. It's a very positive ego, because we have to be. But as you realize, the society that we live, the norms and the expectations and the values are going down, and we are part of it.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. In our community, 30, 40, 50 years ago, divorce was an exception, very rare. Almost nobody talked about it. Very few people did it. Today, the rabbis are talking that they're handling 4 or 5 divorces a week. Yes. And it's becoming, I don't want to call it natural, but relatively common. So society changes.
I teach senior girls or junior girls, they talk in class. Okay, so if this boy would not be good, it's already an option as you get married. You hear? Not if it happens. The answer is the concept of learning to forgive, the concept to learn to forgive, the concept to learn that you are not the only man in the universe, and you have to learn to share. And no one is perfect. Everyone has many qualities, but no one is perfect. It's a me, and me again. I have no access to the social media of the kids. Teachers tell me if you go into it, it's hard to believe what kids do to each other. But again, we are victims of society.
I once listened to a lecture by Rabbi Tversky, and he said, as soon as a marriage turns from the we to the me, just turn the W upside down, all of a sudden a marriage is over. It's no longer we, it's me.
Yep. But this is one of the reasons why young men or young women are reluctant to get married. What's the point of having kids? What's the point of having responsibilities? But this is basic values of society, and it creeps into our society. I told you we had a student by us today, is a rabbi in the island. He had a sister that happens to be very bright, overqualified. Went to Ivy League, but she couldn't find the right match. And she's over 30. She decided, here it is, to impregnate herself through artificial insemination. And she had a child, single girl. Everyone, no one suspected that she had it with a man. You have parents. Your parents live in a respected community. The answer is, but I need a baby doll called a child. You understand, when this baby doll grows up, mommy, who is my daddy? He's number 1785 in the sperm bank in California. This is your father. The answer is, but I want a child. The fact that my family is being humiliated, okay, of course you can say, why should the family be humiliated? But as we said before, her parents live in a community that has certain values, what a family is about. I mean, I have a good friend, very good friend, that his niece, again, was overqualified, a professional. She was a good, very good social worker. She realized that she is not getting married. One of the patients that she really helped a lot was a soldier that was seriously injured. The soldier realized he's not getting married. She came to him, here, let's father a child together and let's not get married. And we would share the ownership of the child. He says to me, every time I ask him, he says, it's lovely to see, not lovely. When the kid grows up, okay, in today's society, it's not so bad because his parents are not divorced, yes? This is my Ima, this is my Abba. Very difficult. The Gemara continues. So this is what the Gemara means. Shelo haya lahem boshet panim, the same is if I'm not embarrassed to do something in front of you, it's a statement how much I respect you and how much I respect myself. Remember, the Gemara obviously is talking about the foundations and the seeds. Next is, remember, this is a Gemara that normally we don't hear around these days, because the Gemara is focusing on Yerushalayim. But if you really put together the Gemara that we know in Masechet Yoma, which is Sinat Chinam in the second temple, and the first temple is the big three, there is a lot, there is a common denominator, yes? Big common, deep common denominator. The head of the Israeli unions, when I was a teenager, was a fellow by the name of Yerucham Mesher. He was on a plane to the States. As it happened, next to him was Rabbi Kamenetsky. Mr. Mesher, even though he was a socialist, but he knew who Rabbi Kamenetsky was, and naturally they had like a interesting discussion about values, education. The son of Rabbi Kamenetsky happened to be on the plane, and from time to time he came to his Abba, can I bring you this, that? As they're coming to New York, Mr. Marshall says to him, we all have our own opinions. But I have to admit that the level of respect that I saw that your son is giving you doesn't exist by us. In the olden times, even if the parents were totally not religious, but this was a concept to respect the elderly, to respect parents. The Gemara continues. This is the next piece. Amar Ula lo charva Yerushalayim. I'm sorry, I read it. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak. Larry, you have it there in Shabbat Kuf Yutet.
Yeah.
Amar Rabbi Yitzchak lo charva Yerushalayim. אלא בשביל שהושבו קטן וגדול, שנאמר, והיה כעם ככהן. Ushvu means by people the fact that he is older, or the fact that he is a scholar, or the fact that he is very involved in doing chesed, the fact that he is ushvu, people said, regardless of what you do, you are the same as me. We live in a country, the land of the free. Everyone on the subway that never went to public school has the right to vote. This is foundations of democracy.
Rabbi Prague?
Yes.
When I see this, I don't know exactly what it means. So what is I know the Sfardim don't have it, you told me. What is the V'chol Ma'aminim then? V'chol Ma'aminim shehu tam ashava u'mashve katam v'gadol. What is that?
Good.
I see it in the davening.
Good.
They sing it a million times, and I'm standing there like a goylem. I don't know what it means.
Good. It's Bemet She'elah Tova. He's asking, Rani, one of the pismonim that we have on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur is V'chol Ma'aminim. We believe, and you have a list. Hashem is merciful, Hashem. And one of them is Mashve, he compares Katan v'Gadol. And this is like good. I'm asking you now as a father. I am a father. Each one of us is a father. You have one kid that has a PhD, very educated, very involved, and another kid that is not. As a father, yes? And you treat them the same or not? Not you, it's me. This is exactly what it means.
That's okay.
V'chol ma'aminim, that Hashem is mashveh katan v'gadol, yes?
But it's interesting, in the last Parshiot, how many different times, let lo tehedar,
lo tehedar berivo.
And every time you can't wear fancy clothes, he comes. He sits, he stands. There's so many to Kim about it. It's fascinating how the Torah is interested in that, to make people equal.
Right? No, but listen carefully what he really means over there. What he refers to is that if I'm a judge and two people are coming to settle an argument, one is dressed very nice and the other one is a blue-collar type of worker. We are telling the wealthy guy or the fancy guy, either buy him the same suit as you, or you come and wear the blue collar. So it's not that we are saying that because judges are human, so if you look at a fellow who is wearing a three-piece suit, a silver cufflink, and a $90 tie, and very nice shoes, in the back of your mind, this guy is a blue collar. In the afternoon, most of the year, I meet my Chavruta, 17th Avenue 59. This is Hasidic people, everyone is working. Some of them are really very successful business people. One of them, you hear, is a plumber. If you look the way he's dressed, sometimes you'll feel like giving him a $20. If you see how the fellow is praying, if you talk to him and you hear the pearls that the man is speaking about, if you talk to him about, this is exactly Shaveh u'Mashveh Katan v'Gadol. We live in a society, look at him. What is he doing? He has money to buy nice clothes. So over there, the judge is obligated to tell both. Either come this way, obviously will, I should say, in advance. As a matter of fact, some of the greatest rabbis in Europe, listen carefully, when people from the community came for Din Torah, the rabbi used to cover his face with a talit. And he used to say, you on the right, present your case. Don't tell me your name, present the case. Why? The rabbi understood, yes, that if I know them, this guy is a big contributor. to the, it's very difficult to.
No, but didn't you tell us you went to a criminal case? The guy was a criminal,
Hey,
and they dressed him up in a suit?
believe me, the little faith I had in the system, which is the only system we have, I lost when I went to a jury. See, Rabbi Prague came with a notebook and he wrote a summary of every testimony. And the judge told me you cannot ask any questions. Why can't I ask any questions? Why can't I ask if this fellow has a clean record? But anyway, as Rani, of course, is saying, and of course, the guy that admitted on a video that he shot, he and his friend, 17 bullets into a door, he killed the guy, was wearing a suit with a tie, the only suit he owned in his life. He murdered. I'll tell you why, I'm very disappointed. I was there 10 days and I was sequestered 2 days to a hotel in Queens. You cannot open the TV. You cannot read newspapers. In East New York, a black teenager, whatever, was humiliated and insulted by a Hispanic guy. He comes home and he tells his friend, I'm going to take revenge on him. He wants to bring this gun. They told him, forget it. We'll help you. Don't be involved. The morning of the 23rd, December 23rd, I forgot the year, as the father of this fellow who humiliated, is sweeping in front of the house before Christmas. The car stops and two people walk out. It's the friends with guns. He realizes that they're not bringing him a gun for Christmas as a gift. He runs into the house, locked the door. He shot 17 bullets. You see it in there. And of course, the guy was behind the door and he killed him. And of course, they both ran away. The case I sat on was apprehended in Texas 3 months later. So the guy had a video. You have the right not to say anything. No, I'll tell the story. And he says, of course we did it. But I was not shooting in the middle of the door. I was shooting only on the bottom, just to scare the guy. My friend who did not apprehend. Anyway, we listened to the testimonies, this, that. Now the jury is coming to vote. The jury was a jury of people of color, Rabbi Prague, an Italian secretary, and a lawyer, a Hispanic lawyer. Before we start the arguments, the head of the jury says, how many people think it's a second-degree murder? I raised my hand, the Italian secretary. I didn't say, I was afraid to say, but the lawyer says, aren't you embarrassed? The guy admitted on a video. What is the question here? He knew that the guy ran, he's hiding behind the door. I'll never forget, no, but this is really, I was very disappointed, but there's a. So many of them said, you come from a different neighborhood. By us, if someone insults you, you have to teach him a lesson. They definitely didn't mean to kill him, but they wanted to do something too. Okay, so of course we had to argue, and we realized we are in a minority, so we had to agree. Second-degree manslaughter, the difference is between 14 to 18 to 6 to 9. The prosecutor says, how can you? Everything was, the answer is, this is a makeup of a jury. Okay, but this is, it's the best you have. What can you do? Not to mention that one young man was sleeping most of the testimony, but every time we took a vote, okay. Here the Gemara, now the Gemara continues. אמר רב שמעון בר אבא, אמר רבי חנינא, לא חרבה ירושלים, אלא בשביל שלא הוכיחו זה את זה. People didn't have the guts to tell each other, hey, This is not nice. שנאמר, היו שריה, the leaders, כאיילים, לא מצאו מרעה. מה היער זה, ראשו של זה, בצד זנבו של זה, אף ישראל שבאותו הדור, כבשו פניהם בקרקע ולא הוכיחו זה את זה. Now, everyone agrees that it's very uncomfortable to rebuke someone. Everyone understands that sometimes we're looking for an excuse to rebuke. But hochichu means to say it right, not in public, to choose the right language, to say it. Dr. Wawalski came to me once and he said, are you close with this senior? He says, more or less. He says he found out, he told me when he found out. And he says, can you talk to him? So I told him, why should I let you? He said he would take it the wrong way if you find it. Now here I am, I have to tell a senior that he was drunk and he did things that should not be done. What should I say? This is how I started. What do you think my opinion of you is? She says to me, Rabbi, I'm not the best student. I says, who cares about the grades? The grades is only for college. I'm asking you, what do you think I think about you as a person? Huh? Positive, good. After he was convinced, so I told him, because of that, because I think that you are very pleasant, you are nice, I was very surprised to hear that on that night when you got drunk, you did so and so. I started to cry. See, if I would have started right away, how come? I wanted to show him that I value you, and I told him what you did does not change my view about you. You're a teenager. Teenagers do make mistakes. But anyway, I asked him, why are you crying? He says, because 10 days later, he went to a funeral of his aunt, and he heard the eulogies, and he realized that there are other values. I mean, he was a nice kid, other values of life that at a certain point of your life, no one remembers what you did in this party or that party. But again, this goes back to everything we spoke before. We expect to act what everyone around us is doing. Very, very difficult to do different. This is why so many politicians now are condemning Israel and etc. It became accepted. Next.
I mean, not accepted, required today.
Okay.
Required. They don't step up and criticize Israel, then they don't count.
But look, we know for sure that whatever they say is incorrect. But so many people are saying it because if you live in Texas or in the Bronx and you see the pictures that social media wants to show you, you cannot come to any other conclusion.
And the secular expression I saw in the Talmud someplace, a lie repeated often enough appears to be the truth.
And of course, as always, unfortunately, we don't have the power, we, the Jews or Israel, doesn't have. But to look on it, Rani, from the big picture, from our point of view, our means from the religious community point of view, Hashem is speaking to us. 50 years ago, people didn't think like that. 30 years ago, people did not. People are not looking on Jews in a very negative way. The next one is, Amar Rav Yehuda lo charva Yerushalayim ela bishvil. I just read the interview with the son of the Rav of Brisk. So the interviewer says to him, did you feel anti-Semitism? This is in the 40s. No, not 40s, 20s. So he says, I'll tell you the truth. Once I went to take the train and 3 thugs picked me up and they wanted to throw me down from the... And a guy comes to them Put him down, otherwise I'll break your neck. What do you do with a young kid? Doesn't exist anymore. He says, in my city, Babriz, there were plenty of people not religious. And once, again, some kids really started with me. This is Jewish kids. And another fellow without a kippah said, aren't you embarrassed? This is the son of the rabbi. What are you doing to him? He said, this concept disappears. But this is everything we read. The common denominator of most is that. Look at the next one is, Amar Rabbi Yehuda lo charva Yerushalayim ela bishvil shebizu ba talmidei chachamim shene'emar vayu mal'ivim. This is not a common word. B'malachei Elokim ubozim devarav. Basically, it means like this. Look, in the Sephardic and the Ashkenazi community, more or less, people do have respect to rabbis, but it's our rabbi. Our rabbi is bigger, better speaker. Why are you reading them? You like your rabbi? Good. You don't like? Switch a shul. But in the Hasidic world, it's the same. Many, of course, respect everyone, but many are. Truth is, everyone has a lot of good, and everyone has room to be better, but we're not perfect. This is shebizu ba talmidei chachamim. No one is perfect, but it's not our business. Let me just read you a Maharsha. The Maharsha was 400 years ago. Larry, if you can find it, go to Maharsha, Chidushei Agadot, in 119b. Give me a second to find it. Yeah, just a second. And this Gemara.
Ela bishvil?
Yeah, right. Give me a second. I have a very small print. Just a second. Right. Second. Yes. Okay, so look at the Dibur HaMatchil, Ari.
Amar Rabbi Yehuda.
ואמר רבא לא חרבה ירושלים אלא שפסקו אנשי המנה, because there aren't people who are honest in business. In the middle of the line, this is what it says now. והנה, remember the דיבור המתחיל is ואמר רבא, remember this is in print 400 years ago. והנה, רוב עוונות, most of the sins that the Gemara is attributing to the people then, וכמעט כולם, יש בדור הזה, in our generation is the same. איסורי שבת, מעט מזעיר שנזהרים בהם, ורבים שאינם יודעים. Okay, in his time, I don't think anyone smoked a cigarette on Shabbat, but he says many people are simply unaware of the basics of Shabbat. Fine. Now, ובכל מוצאי שבת, he's talking about parties on Saturday night. But not parties like today with music. It says, ובכל מוצאי שבת רבים שחיוב להם להשתכר to get drunk. Drunk with what? Whiskey? Beer. ולבטל קריאת שמע ששחרית בזמנו. You go to a party, they wake up Sunday late.
Well, that was the Gemara we just read.
No, he said, this is what he said. Shabbat, then קריאת שמע. ביטול תינוקות של בית רבן, הוא מצוי בכל קהילה. גם הבחורים, the young men, who do study, מבטלים רוב ימיהם והולכים ברחובות ובטיולים. Says people go to long vacations, weekends. בעניין שישבו קטן וגדול, הוא פרוץ בדור הזה. He says, כל אחד רוצה להיות רב ואב בית דין. Everyone wants to be elected. You hear what he says 400 years ago. Then he continues, וכל אחד רוצה, everyone wants to look wealthy בעשירות, בגדים, בבתים. Then he continues, ביזו תלמידי חכמים, people refuse to listen to תוכחה, people. Then he continues, I don't want to elaborate on it because my job is not to be mekatreg, but since the Gemara says it, and the Gemara is listing it for the reasons of the Churban, we should, this is written 400 years ago, take it into account. Of course, we have to bring it home, everyone on his own level. Yeah? And again, because we live today in a diverse society, so you can hear very well, my rabbi said so and so, fine. Sometimes when it happens in class, I tell them, listen, if you're telling me that you and your family are following the rabbi and everything he said, whatever your rabbi says is fine. But very often, my rabbi say, and this issue is comfortable to us to accept. You know, you have a big machloket, a rule or not a rule, do whatever your rabbi says, but be consistent. Your rabbi does talk about being quiet in shul. Your rabbi does talk about not speaking Lashon Hara, etc. This is the Maharsha. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tonight.
Rabbi Prague?
Yes.
You're traveling today a little bit, right?
Yes.
Be careful. It's supposed to be very bad weather up there and here. So be
I have no idea the rain that just came down.
Yeah.
Rain and also wind, and they're worried about the terrible winds and maybe even hail.
God, I'm taking the bus. So
okay, good.
Oh, that's a little better.
Have a wonderful
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Have a great day,
Thank you.
everybody. Bye.